One of the main reasons I've been waiting to do a Hidden Changes video is because I wanted to first post my video that reveals that Last Day on Earth, Jurassic Survival, and Grimsoul Survival are all part of the same project. I show in that video and in the sequel to that video that all three games are sharing information with each other, and that what shows up in one game that works well is likely to show up in the other games, especially when it comes to coding. I then strongly encourage players of any of these games to follow information about all three of these games, because it will probably give them insight as to things that might come in the future. I think the most important example of this are hidden changes. Hidden changes are harder to see, which makes it more likely that they will show up in the other games if they worked well in the original game they were tried on. Because of this, the research team and I are going to start reporting on the hidden changes of all three games. The rest of this video is me catching up on all of the updates that I've missed. The first 5 or 6 updates in Jurassic Survival were full of dozens of changes to graphics. Unfortunately, I did not write them all down, but they were almost all geared around changing Last Day on Earth graphics to fit their new style of the game. In update 1.7.3 of Last Day on Earth, there were 30 hidden changes. They changed the picture of our home base, shop coins were given Chinese logos, and they added a bunch of cheap packs for raids. They fixed the bug in the chopper event where the guy with the skull crusher wouldn't fight back. They fixed the trunk so it can be repainted again. They added a new stack up button, which is kind of nice. They changed the look of the stone cutter and workbench. The turret's logo was changed a little bit in the blueprint list. They made some small tweaks to the loot that AI players carry, so you can now get medium rare type items like duct tape. They added 12 new loading screen notes and got rid of 4 of them that were out of date. They changed it to where zombies' dead bodies won't vanish after re-entering a zone. They made a drastic increase to the amount of weapons you can get in green zone chests. They decreased the amount of wild turkeys in zones. They added the language Chinese. They fixed it to where the specialist icon won't show up on your minimap anymore until you open the door. And they changed the bow to do 1 damage to turrets and 1 to 3 damage to frenzy giants. I know a lot of people are upset about this change, but as I've said, it doesn't make any sense that the bow could do so much damage to a turret, and this needed to be changed. That being said, I don't like the way they tried to fix this problem because it required them to manually modify the damage. The bow no longer follows the rules of the game, which I think is a bad move. Personally, I think they should change it back and then decrease the range of the bow to that of a Glock 17. This would make the bow worthless against turrets, it would make it much more difficult to kill frenzy giants on easy mode, and impossible to use them on hard mode. I believe this would fix all the problems they were trying to fix without forcing them to break the rules of their game. And it gives the bow a use. I honestly don't know what the purpose of the bow is now. I agree that it should not be able to kill turrets, but if it can't kill frenzy giants, then the only thing that it's good for killing is roaming zombies, and it is way too expensive to use them on that. So if they're wanting that to be the purpose of the bow, then I think they should make the bow really inexpensive. And while we're talking about balance changes on ranged weapons, I really think Kafir should change the shotgun to have a very short range and increase the damage to either 80 or 100. Or what would be really cool is if it did more damage the closer you are to your target. That would make the shotgun really dynamic. Update 1.1.1 in Jurassic Survival had 26 hidden changes. They reduced the amount of chests in the hunting areas from 3 to 2, and then moved them to the middle so that you have to kill the beast to loot the chests. And they increased the aggro range of the beast in the hunting zones, assumedly for the same purpose. They fixed the bug that was preventing events from appearing even when you're at low energy. They changed the attack pattern on the Dilophosaurus to where it now attacks 1 or 2 times before spitting. This is an interesting change because the Dilophosaurus was already more difficult to dodge than toxic spitters. They increased the hit points of the Dilophosaurus in a zone to 100, but the ones that spawn while you're already in a zone still have 80 hit points. Bauxite can now be farmed in zones. They added the option to smelt bauxite into aluminum bars at the furnace. They changed the images on 16 of their guns, which is pretty much all of them since there are only like 20 total. They changed the Kukri's damage to 40, which I think was an accident. They changed the way your game is saved to the server to Last Day on Earth's newer system. They changed the way that events spawn. It seems random now, but if we figure out what the new rules are, we'll let you guys know. In update 1.7.5/6/7 in Last Day on Earth, there were 14 hidden changes. They added designs on the walls for the Chinese New Year's, they added kumquat trees in the red zones, they added a buff indicator which tells you all of your active enhancements and how long they have left before they disappear. This is an amazing change, and I think all 3 teams should put this in their games, especially Grimsoul Survival, since it seems like potions is going to be a big part of the game. They changed the artwork for military armor. They added this to the loading screen. They added the ability to turn on and off notifications and settings. They changed it to where AI players drop their weapons when they die. And more than that, they added game physics to it. There was this one time that an AR player was swinging his baseball bat right when I killed him, and the bat flew like 30 feet. It was awesome. I really wish I'd been recording when it happened. They decorated the dining table with some Chinese food on it. They made more changes to the shop. They fixed it to where you can sneak attack in the bunker lobby again. They changed the couch to a Chinese theme. There were a bunch of glitches that took the form of invisible walls. You were able to sneak attack zombies in the fireworks field even if they see you. And you would not get cold in the field even if you were poorly dressed. I know it would have been helpful for me to report these changes when the update was actually out. Sorry about that. In the future, I'm going to try to release hidden changes videos much faster like I used to. The first 3 updates of Grim Soul Survival were mostly uneventful, but there are 4 notable changes that I would classify in the genre of what I report on in these videos. There was an annoying glitch to where if you leave your craft menu even for a second, it will reset at the top. And I don't know if this was the same glitch or a different one, but if you were looking at your craft menu while you were on auto, it would continue to reset, making it very difficult to accomplish anything. There is a glitch to where if you click attack on an enemy while you're at a distance and then press to switch weapons, you will do the damage of the original weapon, but not suffer the loss of its durability. In fact, I don't think you lose the durability on either weapon, but I'm not sure about that. You were also able to make the damn Knights and Templars stop chasing you if you ran far enough away from them. The research team only found one hidden change in update 1.1.2 in Jurassic Survival, but it is probably because we are less organized in covering this game, and it is the game that I play the least out of the 3 of them. We'll fix this as soon as we can. The only change we found is that the Kukri now does 30 damage again. Update 1.7.8 in Last Day on Earth had 11 hidden changes. They changed it to where the dealer comes twice a day, one by the CB radio and then one the normal way. They changed the amount of deaths allowed when raiding from 1 to 0, so make sure not to die when you are raiding someone's base. They changed the graphics on the noise meter, and it no longer increases when you exit and enter the raid base. They changed the graphics on the tactical cap. The turret logo changed again to what we know now to be the level 1 turret. Raiders now destroy way more level 3 walls than before and go a lot deeper into a base. The chance of getting a revenge raid was dramatically increased, and the quality of bases of a revenge raid were also increased. They changed the look of sewing machines, and the CB radio now uses numbers to indicate how many new things it has for you. Even though this update didn't offer a lot of new things to do, it was, in my opinion, a really good update. Adding customization of characters and the girl character with a lot of other tweaks that they did was just very well done. I think the other 2 games would be wise to copy Last Day on Earth's character customization options as soon as they can. Update 1.0.3 in Grim Soul Dark Fantasy had 4 hidden changes. They fixed my method for killing damn Knights and Templars at AI bases to make them just not take damage. They changed the recipe for bandages so that it requires 3 flax fiber. This was a smart change. They changed the cloth requirement on the recipe for the cart thill from 3 to 5. And lastly, they decreased the chance of the magic circle showing up in the 1 skull zone, which is their version of the green zone. In update 1.7.9 in Last Day on Earth, there were 38 hidden changes. They added a new diseased wolf in the game. There is a new bug where the toxic spitter animation would go in the wrong direction. Made changes to the shop as usual. Dead deer look bigger. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. They introduced the concept of dog doors in the bunker. I asked the producer of the game about this, and he explained that the dog will not be able to open this door, but rather that our dog will be able to go get the loot from the chest for us. They got rid of one of the Raiders' tasks and added 12 new ones. Currently, you can choose which ones you want by rejecting them and getting them to come back, though I imagine Kafir will probably change this later, to where doing this will make you lose reputation. We now need hatchets to open chests during a raid. They reduced the size of the acid bath. There's a bug making it to where the smelting furnaces and campfires no longer produce smoke. The door in the bunker lobby that used to say the door is stuck now says a dog with the skill True Friend is required. The producer of the game did let us know that we will be able to breed different types of dogs, and I imagine that our dog will have the skill True Friend based on how we breed them. The generator was removed from floor 3. As per usual, they removed all of the Chinese food items and decorations, but the Chinese armor and weapons are still in the game. The gas mask stopped working. Fur armor doesn't protect you from cold rooms in floor 4, which has caused a lot of debate on whether or not this is a bug. C4 blows up the chests around it, meaning that you can loot them, making it worth it on occasions to use C4. The ATV no longer blocks your way as you can slip through the edge of the 3x3 space, which is important to note for base design. There's a rare bug which restores all of your destroyed walls and all of the trees and resources. There's another bug that restores all of the durability on your damaged gas masks. There was a bug where people without welcome mats would always show up on the same place of their base when they would return to it. There was a glitch that created a hole on the 4th floor of the bunker. They added the heavy turret as a new enemy. The heavy turret has the same amount of armor as assault gear, which means damage is reduced by 73%. If you remember from my video on how armor works, damage rounds down, so if you choose the wrong weapon, then you can waste a lot of damage. For example, modified rifles do the same amount of damage as their normal counterparts. Based only on the numbers, the least wasteful weapon to use against heavy turrets is the AK-47. But I don't know about you guys, I don't really want to use all of my AKs. A non-modified M16 does a pretty good job. They added turret parts and heat sensors to the game so that we can build turrets. You can get both of these parts from normal and heavy turrets, though heavy turrets seem to have a better chance of dropping them. The raiders sometimes show up in the bases that you are raiding. There's a glitch to where you can open chests from the other side of the wall, and reputation items were reintroduced to the winter zone again, but farm while you can because they said they're going to fix it in the next patch. Last Day on Earth has since released 2 silent updates with 10 hidden changes. They fixed it to where people without welcome mats no longer always show up in their house at the same spot. They restored fire particles and smoke in fire pits and furnaces. They fixed it to where zombie corpses no longer show up on your base after an AI player raids you. They fixed the gas mask so it's working again. They fixed a 4th floor hole in the ground. They reduced the size of the meat dryer. They claim to have fixed the game loading screen freeze, though I know it's still a big deal for iOS users. They fixed it to where numb zombies heal in the 4th floor. They accidentally introduced a bug where frozen bloaters and numb zombies in the winter zones look like toxic abominations and toxic spitters, and they finally fixed the charge attack of the blind one. Yesterday, in update 1.1.3 of Jurassic Survival, we only found one hidden change because of that same organizational problems that we're having. That change was the recipe to the metal detector, which is good because it's important for the new event. Also yesterday, in update 1.0.4 in Grimsoul Dark Fantasy, there were 14 hidden changes. They made it to where the candles on the Raven's Cage table is lit, as well as lighting the candles on the candle stands. They added the Brickworks team logo on the loading screen. They made it to where the game zooms in when you're opening chests. They added a lot more enemies near the chest in the 3 skull zone. They fixed it to where the Templars and Knights will keep following you no matter how far you make it away from them. AI now run away if they get too low of health. They changed it to where leaving your home area and coming right back will no longer give you the new quest. Instead, you have to travel somewhere and come back. I'm guessing they did this for the realism of having to wait for the ravens to get you your next quest. They changed the cloth requirement for the recipe on the Carthill again. It now needs 6 cloth. When you die, it zooms out. And they changed the way your game saves to where your death registers immediately. So even if you close the game super fast, you still end up at your base. This is of course a great change because it makes the game how it's designed to be, but there are 2 problems with this. First, I've noticed a lot more lag since this update, and I imagine it's because of this. But second, because losing your leather pack means you lose $6. Before you hit level 55, that shouldn't bother you because you couldn't build a leather pack anyways. But now that I'm level 55, dying makes me very aware of how pay to win it is that iron is not in the game yet. I would strongly encourage Brickworks to consider adding an iron bar to night caches or adding them in the game somehow so that there is at least one other option, even if it's rare, to get a leather pack outside of paying for it. Otherwise, players will start resenting making the purchase, which is not good for your game in the long run. They added a clock noise to signal when night begins and ends, and they added a witch laughing sound effect, which I believe signifies that the night cache is nearby. Night caches can only be found at night in the 3 skull zone. Well, that's it guys, hope that helps. I will be announcing the February giveaway winners next week in one of my next few videos. Also, I'm looking for volunteers who are willing to translate my videos into other languages. If you know another language besides English and would like to help, please reply to my pinned comment of this video with which language you know and are willing to translate, and we'll invite you into that group. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.